I'm so nervous. Oh my god. I can do this. Cue the sun, please. I watched Truman Show like 2 nights ago. If you guys haven't seen it, you have to watch it. It's amazing. Cue the sun. Okay, I'm just gonna jump into it. I've been sitting on this chair for like 20 minutes trying to start this video because I just feel a little bit awkward talking to a camera after so long. How are we all feeling? Welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while. I checked before because I wasn't sure, and the last video that I uploaded over 6 months ago. So I don't think I've ever taken a break that long from YouTube since starting YouTube. I know I've never been the most consistent uploader, but this was really something else. And to be honest, I didn't leave with the intention of staying gone for so long. It just kind of happened, but I think it was really good for me. I'll get into that in a little bit. But anyways, I'm back. 2020 has been a wild ride for all of us, I think. It's been so exhausting, and frankly, I'm ready for this year to be over. But I did want to come back to YouTube. I'm gonna go back to doing my regular fashion, beauty, lifestyle content, and obviously whatever you guys want to see. But I wanted to do a little welcome back Q&A sort of catch-up video because I thought it would be strange to not do one since I've been gone for so long. I have some questions on my phone from you guys that I'm gonna answer, and I'll just try to get back into it. If I seem a little awkward or tense, forgive me. I haven't done this in a little while, and it always takes some time to get back into it, I feel like. Let's do it. Let's do this. I feel so weird. Now, the first question that I'm just gonna get into is, a lot of you guys ask me this: why did you stop YouTube / what made you take a break? Honestly, there's a bunch of reasons, and there's some stuff that I can't talk about, but as I've said before, this year has been a lot for all of us, I would say. But besides, you know, COVID and just the whole world going down the toilet, there's just been a couple of things in my personal life as well that have drastically changed. First of all, I do think just moving to Berlin and moving to Europe overall was such a big step for me, and I really underestimated it at first. I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy with the new life that I'm building for myself, and I really feel like I belong here. It's amazing to be here, but it was such a huge step, and I think part of me needed some time off YouTube and away from sharing so much of my life to actually confront myself, be confronted with my new life and to build my new life, if that makes sense. Because I think it's hard to share and to give so much of your personal life when you're currently building a new one and you don't even really know who you are. And like, I came here to the city and I was really excited to share my fresh start with you guys, and I showed you guys my apartment and moving in and that kind of stuff. But I think after that, it became really tricky for me to share my life because I was just in the process of building it and like meeting new friends and finding new spots and stuff. And I know that is probably really interesting, and I know a lot of you guys probably would have liked to see the process, but I think for me it was so much better to take some time off and truly focus on, yeah, building my life, meeting new people, like curating my space around me, and just kind of like finding my way back to myself after so many drastic changes, if that makes sense. So I think that was a big reason. It's kind of difficult because there's just some things that I feel are way too personal to share and they're not about me. But basically a couple months ago, or 6 months ago, wow, when I stopped uploading, there were a couple of really big changes within my family life, and it was a lot for me to deal with emotionally and mentally. And that was also part of, or a big part of, the reason that I couldn't film YouTube videos anymore. I actually remember trying, but I just couldn't because I had so much going on in my head and I was dealing with so much emotionally that I really just couldn't sit in front of a camera and talk about other stuff, and especially because I didn't want to talk about the stuff that was going on inside my head, if that makes sense. So long story short, I think it was really important for me to take a break and to just, yeah, find my way back to myself and take care of my mental health, because I think it just would have been too much and way too overwhelming if I would have kept filming and making YouTube videos. And obviously I stayed active on Instagram. I've become a lot more active again the past like 2-3 months. I was pretty low-key for a couple of months there as well, and I think that was important for me again to just have my personal life be mine for a little while as I'm figuring everything out. And now I feel like I'm in a really good place. Obviously the world's still a mess and I'm still a mess sometimes, but I do feel like I'm in a better place now, and that I've kind of arranged my life the way I want it to be for the moment. And so now I feel ready to share it with you guys again, or to share more of it, if that makes sense. And the next question, also a lot of you guys asked, what have I been up to? What have I been doing in Berlin? Basically, what have I been doing the past 6 months? And again, I think I just really took a lot of time to heal and to think a lot and just get to know myself and find my way back to myself. Also making a lot of new friends and putting a lot of effort into not curating, but just growing new friendships, and yeah, just getting used to the city here, my environment, trying new places. I have been working as well the past 6 months, just doing Instagram. A bunch of you guys asked me how I've been making money since I haven't been on YouTube, and I do make money on Instagram through collaborations. So I've still spent a lot of time the past 6 months doing my usual emails back and forth, negotiating, reading, signing contracts, coming up with content ideas, reaching out to brands, shooting, editing, uploading, all of that stuff. Is not as time consuming as when I also do YouTube, but it's still a bunch of work that I've been doing the past 6 months. But at the same time, I did put my career not on hold, that's really the wrong way to say it, but it hasn't been a priority the past 6 months, to be honest. It's been more so a priority to just take care of myself and feel good and spend lots of time with friends and family. And I think first I didn't want to admit that to myself, and I was kind of embarrassed about not working as much as I usually do or have been the past few years. And I've still been making money on Instagram, as I said, the past 6 months, but it hasn't been as much as I would usually make or have made in the past. And again, I was kind of embarrassed about that at first and just ashamed within myself, and I felt like I was doing something wrong. And now I realize that it's been so important for me to just put myself first for a while, and my career or my income second or third or whatever. It's been so important for me, and I don't know, I think it's so ingrained in us that we always have to work and we always have to be productive and we always have to make more money and buy more stuff and this and that. And now I'm at a place where I'm really ready to hustle, to say it in the cringiest way possible, but I'm like ready to get back into work and back into YouTube. And there's a couple of projects that I'm working on that again I can't talk about, but they're really exciting. So now I'm in a place where I want to work and I want to make money and, you know, work on my career. But I also think it's so fine to have phases in your life where you don't feel like that, and where there's other things that are and should be a priority. And I also know that there's people who don't ever really have that career, business, I want to make lots of money drive, and I think that's okay too. I'm getting a bit off track, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that I felt really bad about leaving YouTube and working less at first, but now I'm really glad that I did it. I also just want to stress that I'm extremely aware that I'm very privileged to be able to say that I took 6 months to take care of my mental health and do a little bit of Instagram and spend lots of time with friends. I realize how that sounds, and I realize that I'm extremely lucky to be able to do what I do in the first place and then take a break from it. I'm quickly gonna move because the sun's really annoying me. Okay, next question. I feel like this video is so all over the place and not structured, but fuck it. How has your life changed since moving to Germany? To be honest, I think what's changed the most is this girl right here. I feel like a completely different person to when I was living in Sydney, or not completely different. I think people never really change that much, like to the core. and I think I still have the same values and pretty similar personality, but just in terms of how I feel and I think how I carry myself, I think making such a big move, even though it's back to my home country, I spent 9, almost 10 years of my life living in Sydney, and moving back here was such a big step. And then moving to Berlin by myself to a new city where I knew 2 people, I think it's made me so much more independent, and I feel so much, I mean all of this is gonna sound super like cliche and just what people say, but I feel so much stronger and so much more independent. In terms of like day-to-day stuff and just lifestyle, I feel like I've become a lot more social, and Berlin has made me a lot more social, and moving to a place where I don't really know anyone and I have to put effort into making new friendships and meeting new people has forced me to become so much more social. And I've realized now that I used to have to force myself to leave the house and like hang out with people, and now I want to every day. I want to see someone every day. And that's also really funny as well. That's actually something I feel like has either changed about my personality or has always been there, and the city has just brought it out of me. But I think that's something big in terms of lifestyle, is that I'm a lot more social. Besides that, I think life isn't super different here than it is in Sydney. I mean, obviously you do slightly different things, but I still work from home most of the time. I do the same kind of work. I like hanging out with friends. You know, I do the same stuff. I guess in Sydney I'd go to the beach sometimes, and here I maybe go out a bit more than I used to in Sydney. Obviously not considering COVID. Also just living alone, that's been a really big change obviously since moving to Germany, and I think it's made me again just so much more confident. I feel more comfortable being just with and around myself, and I'm really enjoying getting to know myself better. I think that's what kind of happens in your 20s, is you slowly start to actually get to know yourself, and you like see your own patterns, and you sort of just learn so much about yourself. Again, I always feel a little bit of cringe when I talk about stuff like this because it sounds like such a cliche, but they exist for a reason. So I think it was so necessary for me to move, and this has just been a completely new chapter in my life, and I'm so grateful that I'm getting to experience this. Honestly, I'm so eternally grateful that I get to experience living in Berlin, in this apartment, with the friends that I have now, with the people that I've met, with the work that I'm doing. Like, I honestly can't I can't believe that all of this is real sometimes. I'm just so happy that I was brave enough to do it, because honestly I'm actually tearing up because I just get really like sappy talking about this stuff. But honestly, I was so terrified when I moved to Berlin, and I remember almost not wanting to do it because I was so scared, and I didn't know if I was gonna be able to build a life for myself here. And now I'm so glad that I did it, and now that I've conquered this, or I'm still in the process of conquering this new chapter, I just feel like I can do anything. I feel kind of invincible a lot of the times. I feel like shit sometimes as well, and obviously there are days where I feel like nothing's going right and I feel really overwhelmed by everything. But a lot of the times, yeah, this city and moving here has made me feel so much more comfortable in my own skin, and just like I'm fucking invincible and I can do whatever I want, which is awesome. How do you deal with uncertainty in your 20s? I really like this question. It's a bit more general, but I wanted to talk about this because I get a lot of questions, or a good amount of questions, asking me like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are you gonna do with your job? Like, you can't do this forever. Or what are your career plans? What are your goals? And obviously I have goals, but I have to say at the moment they're pretty short-term goals, and I don't really know where I'm gonna be in 5 years, and I'm so okay with that. There are days, again, where it's really scary that I don't know where I'm gonna be in 5 years, but most of the time I actually like it, because it would be so boring if I did know. And I honestly think that how to deal with uncertainty is, I think we just have to learn to put more trust in ourselves. I think a lot of young people have kind of stopped believing in themselves and stopped believing that good things can happen. I know that sounds really deep, but I think we're at a place right now where the world seems to be in a worse place than it's ever been, which I don't think is accurate at all. But that's how everyone feels. I don't want to get too much into it. Obviously, there's a lot of fucked up things happening, but I do think there's also a lot of good things happening, and that for a lot of lucky people, there's really bright futures out there. But I think a lot of young people have stopped believing, yeah, just that they're gonna have a good life and that they're gonna be successful and that they're gonna be able to live the life that they want to live. And I think we have to get back to just believing in ourselves and believing in the universe, I guess. Again, I don't want to get too sidetracked and too deep, but that's honestly what I think. And people ask me like, what are you gonna do when Instagram shuts down or like YouTube doesn't work anymore or whatever? I'm gonna figure something out. Like, I've learned so much of the past few years, and I've met so many people, I've made so many connections. There's a bunch of different jobs that I could see myself doing within the industry, and I know that I'm gonna be able to work something out because I have that trust in myself. I think I'm smart, I think I'm a fast learner, I'm confident, I'm friendly, I get along with everyone, and I have that trust in myself that even if I for some reason wasn't able to do all of this anymore, I will find something else. Okay, I think that's actually all the questions I'm gonna answer for today. I just wanted this to be a quick welcome back reintroduction to Maxi and her channel. And in terms of the future, I am excited to be uploading on YouTube again. I'm gonna work out a posting schedule and come up with some ideas as to what I want to be doing. Let me know what you guys want to see. I think I'm gonna be doing a video in German soon as well, and just see how that goes. But I'll definitely be doing subtitles in English, obviously. And of course, I'm still doing Instagram. I'm also on TikTok now, so come follow me there. I'm working on a couple of different projects as well that I can't really talk about yet, but there's some exciting stuff coming, and I'm really happy to be sharing it with you guys. I also just want to say thank you to everyone who messaged me over the past 6 months, asking if I'm okay, offering support, telling me that you guys miss me. It's really meant so much, and I really appreciate just, yeah, the amount of love and also understanding that I got and still get from you guys. So thank you for that, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye. What the fuck was I talking about? I've lost my train of thought. Holy shit, I have no idea what I was talking about.